Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset Episode 34. This podcast is about anything and everything related to Destiny the game. If you enjoy playing Destiny as much as we do, you're in the right place. This week, the Derp fam hit a group milestone. We talk Iron Banner Clash, and Mr. Woodhouse from Destiny the game subreddit returns for our main segment. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. This is Arrow Knight, and here with me, of course, is Cyborg Sasquatch. How you doing, man?
Hey, how are you this evening?
I'm great, dude. I'm amped up to talk about all the trials that we ran this week, dude.
That was fun, but also
that's in a little bit.
a blow, but
yeah, that's all right.
So yeah, man, I'm excited too. I'm doing okay. I've been a little bit under the weather this week and weekend, so you and the listeners will have to forgive me if I sound a little stuffy or if I get hoarse, guys. Just bear with me. We're gonna get through this. I'm here for you, rain or
we
shine.
Appreciate it.
So
nice,
let's get into some announcements, man.
Jump right in.
We've got my geography lesson of the week, and it comes courtesy of one of our Derp fan members, Mr. BitDead99, hailing from Norwich, which is in the United Kingdom. And he sent us an email, and in it he says, "Hey, Cyborg and Arrow, I hope you're well. I thought I would pitch in for this week's geography lesson if I may. I live and work in Norwich, which is right in the middle of the big round bit that sticks out of the side of the UK. There's many interesting things that happened around here in the past, but I'd like to expand on the World War II cemetery that you very kindly gave me a shout out for last week." If you guys missed it last week, BitDead had put up a nice post in our, I think it was Group Me at that point, a week or so ago about his trip to a cemetery. So if you missed that, hit somebody up in Discord, maybe he could repost it. But it was a very nice thing and very touching for everybody. But he goes on to say, "The cemetery contains the bodies of 3,812 war dead from the World War II era. Every state of the Union is represented here. In addition, inscribed on the tablets of the missing are the names of over 8,000 American servicemen who lost their lives during the war, but whose bodies were never recovered, one of which is the brother of John F. Kennedy, Joseph P. Kennedy, Jr. Also on the site is a visitor center which has many stories of the brave men and women who lost their lives, and I'm not afraid to say the place brought a tear to my eye, but I was also honored that I could pay my respects. Anyway, if anyone wants to check out the site, it's called the Mattingly American Cemetery. Thank you so much for all that you both do and keep up the fantastic work. Regards, Ian, aka BitDead."
Awesome, man.
Well, thanks, BitDead.
That's great.
Really cool information there about the cemetery you visited. I was actually curious about where specifically you were, so it was nice to hear more about it. And I wasn't even really aware that there was a cemetery there for U.S. soldiers until you brought that up. So that was pretty cool to hear about.
Yeah, same here, man. It was cool too, that video. Hopefully maybe he can repost it in Discord. He just kept panning across, and it was just, you're like, wow, that's a lot.
Rows
wow,
and rows
that's oh my, wow. And it just kept going. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, Norwich, actually, I looked up, it was once the largest city in England after London during the 11th century, and one of the most important places in the kingdom until the Industrial Revolution. It was the capital of the most populous county in England. So it's a pretty big area with a very, very, very long history. It sounds like there's probably a lot to explore there. So if you ever make it out to the UK, you might want to check it out. They've got some cool castles and cathedrals and all this really cool stuff. I looked it up and got lost for a while on the wiki page.
Nice.
Like many places in the UK, man, lots and lots of history. So it's really cool.
Sounds like when we hit that world tour, Ian, I hope you've got an extra room, man. Very nice.
Yep, absolutely. So what else do we have in the way of announcements this week?
Oh man, this week we hit a group milestone, man. This is exciting stuff. So we passed up 500 members on our Destiny Reset group.
Dude,
we're at
500.
508 now already.
That's awesome.
It's insane, man. I remember pulling that up and looking at it, and we had like 35 members, you know?
Yeah, I was
Just
excited
nuts.
that day.
Yeah, just crazy. We're already sporting, I think 95 and 76 clanmates in Destiny Reset Fell Winter. So
Very nice.
We better start thinking about some more
Yep,
name
the
options.
next group is coming soon, guys. Get ready for another vote.
Crazy. It's cool stuff, man.
Yep. But big thanks to all the Derp fam, and
Yes.
glad to see continued growth there. I hope that everybody is getting what they need out of the group and enjoying the Guardians and all the positivity that happens there. And if you've got an idea for something that the clan can do or the group can do, or something you'd like to try, put a forum post up or tweet us or send us an email. You know, we love to hear ideas from you guys for the show and also for the group. You know, it really grows when the members want to lead and do new things. So don't hesitate to reach out and put your ideas out there. Man.
Parts of the show already are because of stuff like that. So
yep,
that's for sure. Yep. What else we got, man? How about a little reminder?
Yes. This is our final reminder, guys.
Uh-oh.
We are moved to the Discord app platform for our daily chat. If you are still in the group me or haven't checked in there in a while, the group me will actually be shut down in entirety as of, I believe, Wednesday. So that will be the day after this releases. So if you haven't moved over there, go to our Bungie.net group, pull up the informational new member post. You'll see a link to join the Discord chat. Jump on in there. There's a lot of cool stuff that GroupMe didn't have. There is voice support. There's multiple channels you can surf all in one place. Some cool ones. One I like is the Moments of Triumph. So you can jump in there and put up your coolest, you know, check out this triple kill. Check out the flawless passage I got. Really cool way for you to see the fun stuff people are achieving. And there's even a little channel to see who's streaming. So if you stream, you can jump in there, pop a link to your stream. If somebody wants to see who in the fam is stream, they jump on over, click your name, and get moved right to your stream. So cool stuff there. Be sure to check it out. And this is your last chance.
Yep. Be sure to check out the desktop app too. A lot of times, I've got a couple monitors. A lot of times while I'm playing, I'll pull it up, and man, the desktop app
really
for
good.
it is so good.
Really
it
good.
is. It's very responsive and so easy to swap through those different little subgroups like you were talking about, Cyborg, even on the app. So
yep,
great stuff, man.
All right.
Yep. So, dude, how was your reset?
It was pretty good, man. What time I did get to play, you know, like I told you guys, a little under the weather. I didn't get to play nearly as much on my console as I normally would this week. I actually got more sleep than normal.
Right.
Trying to fight off this cold. But I got some fun stuff in, you know. I again could not pull my raid team together, man. We just could not get our stuff together this week. I think people are losing motivation. It's falling apart. It's a shit show out there, guys. But I started out, man, with a Nightfall. You know, we're like,
oh, you did? Nice,
yeah. Well,
man.
we the raid team wasn't showing up. We're like, what do we do? So we're like, let's do the Nightfall.
That's funny, man.
So we jumped in there.
I did one too, man. So what'd you get? That's a big question, right?
What did I get, man?
I know it's.
You know what I got? I got some legendary boots. So disappointing, like but I don't do it for the rewards. I do it for the rep.
Yeah, right.
You know?
You've always done it for the rep.
I'm always in it for the rep, guys.
I need to be in it for that
packages.
so I can upgrade my striker subclass on my Xbox character, man. I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually snuck one in today before we recorded, man. I really wanted to.
Nice.
I didn't do it last week. I only do it on my Xbox character right now, and I got to give a shout out to Voodoo and Fugly for jumping in and helping me out.
Did you say his game tag is Voodoo?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. Yep.
That's very
so
cool.
I just posted in the Discord, in the Xbox One little sub channel, and boom, man, they helped me out. Jumped in. It's actually pretty brutal this week with solar
it was
burn.
a tough one, man.
Oh man, we died. I think we wiped 3-4 times on the boss.
Yeah.
We were kind of just jumping around like it was going to be a normal Nightfall experience, and realized we were going to have to actually.
And you can't jump because it was.
Oh yes.
What is it called? Is it not catapult? It's the opposite of that. I can't remember the name of the modifier. Grounded.
Right.
Yeah. So when you jump,
apart.
you just get shredded. And I was like, why do I keep dying? I'm like, oh, I'm jumping. And then
I know I forget that too, man.
Match game. So you had to be ready with some kind of void weapon for those Praetorians, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I had had some kind of void fusion, and then I used my sleeper simulant for my boss DPS. So like when the Praetorians would show up, I was like, okay guys, I'm gonna bring down their shield and you gotta finish them off. So I'd try to get a shot on them, but they kept teleporting, so sometimes I'd miss and I'm bobbing and weaving, but I'd pop them and bring down their shield, and then Darth and Crimson, who were playing with me, they'd shred them with some primary fire. It worked out good, but it's tricky, man. And then the Undying Mind doing that solar damage was brutal.
Oh yeah, we used spindles, and we had a Celestial trying to use that single shot golden gun, which we did pop it off a couple times, but yeah, it was rough, man. And then my rewards were which I'm getting a little bit of a stack of them on Xbox, so I'm not complaining, but I was I'm just waiting for that last word to drop, and I got 20 strange coins.
Oh man, well,
but you know what,
that's
I'll
still
take it.
Really useful for you,
right? Yeah, 20 is a good stack for me. I mean, that's almost a what is it now? Is it 17? Or is it 23 if he sells a weapon? It's 23, isn't it? I can't
remember.
I think it's 23. So it's pretty much, a weapon for me. Hopefully he sells something pretty decent this weekend.
Do you miss the days when it was guaranteed he would sell a weapon every week?
I do, man, because especially now, because I'm hunting primary weapons. And with this past weekend, he had, was it Helmingram again? Yeah, it was. And it's just like, well, I can't do any, I guess somebody needs it, but I'm hunting weapons. I need weapons.
Yeah, I just really prefer that he would sell it's like random now, so he'll for sure sell a piece of armor for each class, but then everything else is a toss up, as far as what the other one or two things that he sells. And I don't know, I feel like they just need a permanent rotating weapon slot like they used to. I really don't get why they changed it.
I know. I wonder if our kiosks had anything to do with it. I mean, we still would have to. I
suppose
he would still have to sell it. It would have to be an option. But I guess it just comes up way less often now. So we can't just buy it, delete it, and have it in our blueprints. I don't know.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to keep getting those 3 coins, man. Just keep rolling the dice.
I forgot to buy some from him this weekend, so I think I have 1 left.
Oh man.
But and weapons don't drop that often. It doesn't seem like either for engrams. So
yeah, you get I did get
the Hereafter. I got
armor.
the Hereafter this week.
Oh,
so,
nice. That's not a bad one.
I immediately infused it into my 1,000 yards.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Ouch.
Again, the blueprints come into play. I'm like, do I really want to do that?
Though,
and then I'm thinking, I can just go get it if I want.
You can pull a copy out if you need to. You just got to have the exotic shard though.
Right. Yes.
How are you in the way of those?
I have about 4 or 5 of them.
Okay,
right now.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so not too bad. Yeah, I'm slowly building my materials up on that Xbox character.
There you go. By the next content drop, man, you'll be a well-armed machine,
right?
Ready to rock and roll.
Exactly. We hope.
We would hope.
Yeah.
So what else did we get into this week, man?
Well, I still, just an update on my 1 option for my JLB 47, my 1 roll option, because my gunsmith's level 1 on Xbox.
Right.
I still don't have it.
Oh, man.
I need to level that dude up to at least 2, man.
For real.
I'm telling you. I know, but that's okay. That's okay, because I bought the Vertigo. Did you ended up getting the Vertigo?
No, I didn't buy it because I got the Trials rocket.
Oh, that's right.
I want to say last weekend with Prox Debt.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been just using that. I think the other perk was like Battle Runner or something, but I just needed a legendary with proc stat.
Right.
Grenades and horseshoes, just so I could have that and not have to either swap out my exotic and go to truth or whatever, because, you know, I got pretty good with my Trials rocket launcher in House of Wolves to where, you know, I could do pretty good work with it. So I just needed something comparable, and
yeah, that works.
pulled a good midair shot the other night.
Yes, you did, man. So
I think I got a
we
clip
ran
of
some
that
trials,
one.
man.
Yeah, I got a little lucky, but still made it work. So
Good
let's talk
stuff,
trials, man. Exodus Blue.
Yeah, man, I was about as pumped as you can be for a trials map to come up in the rotation. I had a blast with this map.
And I remember last time
this
came around, you were like, Exodus Blue. You know,
yep, and
so
that's happened so many times with trials, all the way back to the very first weekend with Burning Shrine, because I did not like that map. I've talked about this before because I played it on control so much and I couldn't stand where B was. After the first weekend, like, Burning Shrine is amazing for trials. And then Exodus Blue, not a big fan of that map. I'm just not a huge fan of really small maps. It came up last time. It was awesome, dude. But I'll tell you what has changed that map immediately is not having special right off the bat, dude.
That's a very good point. Because you're in real close proximity when you start out. Mm-hmm. So it really forces you to engage pretty quickly.
Right.
From both sides, because you really can't. The thing I realize about that map, like, is you're going to have a hard time hunkering down really anywhere. Like, there are so many angles and ways that people can come at you. Like, if you get into a corner, unless you can just really outgun every single person that comes at you, like, you will get overwhelmed pretty quickly.
Right.
And so there's just really not the option to just hang back and wait, because you'll get pressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, like, some people were saying, even earlier tonight, a couple people I played with were saying that they found themselves just waiting for the special, like you said. And on this map, like, our encounters Friday night, we hardly ever ran into that, man, because we were pushing. We felt like we were getting pushed, and we had several rounds where we couldn't even get it because the round was over and we still had too long to wait on the pop. Yep.
Yeah, they were just going too quickly sometimes, which is, I mean, which I see as a good thing, because, you know, if we can do it with our primaries and get those rounds, you know, won quickly early, that's just going to have them scrambling to try to turn it around and try to get special later. And we're still, you know, coming back with 2-3 round lead, and, you know, it's hard to turn that around.
Man, I don't know though. It's, you know, it's like you were saying, it's weird. I actually saw, I think it was Alpha Magnus on Reddit today. Tell me what you think about this real quick. Mm-hmm. He said, did you check the Reddit today at all?
I don't think I've seen this post. So
he said, and I did not know where he was going with it, but he said, Bungie, you did special backwards. What you should have done was, and he said max amount. Obviously, it would have to be gauged at some point. But he said, give everyone special ammo from the start, but you can't get any more after that.
That's not a bad idea.
And at first I was like, no, that won't work. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, that kind of will work. You have to really think about your shot. You're not going to spam it. You're not going to waste it. And no one's going to camp the boxes. Even like we did when we would get the other team down to one person, we would intentionally cover the orbs and wait for special to spawn.
Right.
You're almost forced to now, right?
Yeah.
So imagine if you only had 12 sniper shots or shotgun. You know, they would have to level it out between your side or your secondary. Yeah. But imagine if you only had 12 sniper shots for the entirety of a trials game. That would be crazy, man. Like, I would not be firing my sniper rifle very often unless I knew I was getting that headshot.
Yeah, that would be interesting, and it would definitely punish you if you weren't landing your shots too.
But you know, I guess that would change. That would make one game mode a very specific way that special worked, and they kind of have to do it across the whole game, I guess, you know? Yeah,
that wouldn't go badly in maybe Inferno or something.
Right.
I mean, I could see playing that.
I don't know. That was just a random idea I saw today. It
was a pretty cool idea.
I actually remembered the name of the person on Reddit, so I could give him credit for it.
Good job. I always forget. I'll be like, so this guy on Reddit. And I always feel bad afterwards. I'm like, man, I should have credited that user.
Right. At least we don't take credit for it, right?
Yeah. At least we say this is not our idea.
Right.
But going back to the trials this weekend, so we got to jump right in together on Friday.
We did,
with
man.
Our friend Jordan, them's tattoos, or I tattoo, however he's going by that week, and played some pretty sweaty matches. How many cards do we run? Like 3, I believe.
We played 3 cards, maybe minus dropping one at like 2 wins, I think, because one of us forgot our boon. Yeah. But
no names.
No names. But tattoo.
But I had a lot of fun. I mean, we didn't make it to the lighthouse.
I know, it's crazy, man. 3 passages, and we went 8-0 on all 3
in a row. Like where I fully believed that we were there. We were on the way there on that last card. I'm like, we're going to lighthouse, no questions about it, and just choked on that last match again, man.
Right.
Like I don't know what is ailing us, or obviously the teams outplayed us. Fair enough.
Right.
But it's not like we've been in a 9th game match where we felt like we were severely outclassed. I don't think that we've been in that situation. And, man, we're going to have to keep working on how to improve our communication and our strategies.
Right. See,
so we stop doing that,
Yeah, it's, we've always, had the most trouble with shotgun rushing teams on the PlayStation side of things. Yeah. And it seemed like even for us when we're playing, it's the same because we got a couple snipers. You're running usually sniper or sidearm. So I feel like we need to adjust to that. Sometimes we do, man. You forget those games real quick where you bring it back when you're down 4-2, and you change your strategy. But it did a couple of times. And on this map, on Exodus Blue, man, like those teams that were sending out one guy to flank with the other 2, the map is so small that those guys are joined back up, sandwiching us within seconds because the map is so small. And if you don't figure that out within the first couple rounds, then especially now they've got supers, they've got special, and
gets
you're
away
2
from
rounds
you.
in. Yeah, you're 2 rounds in, and you already have a major hill to climb at that point.
Yeah, and we had some some good comebacks on some rounds, and we lost our mercy on that last card pretty early on. I want to say like the 5th or 6th game, maybe.
Right.
And, played straight through with some wins without a ton of trouble. But, overall, I had a really good time. And it's always fun to get in those games and, have some good moments, make some mistakes, and pick up some things that we can work on. I usually have been trying to run a sniper, but I ended up playing most of my games with a Mida and a sidearm just for the mobility and to kind of back you guys up and cover you. And I have to say to a lot of people, like, that sidearm, man, is criminally underrated. Like, right. I feel like I'm just as effective with my Iron Wreath as I ever was with a shotgun. Because if you're in that range to where you used to operate, like with, say, a high range shotgun, if you have a good roll on an Iron Wreath or maybe a Havoc Pigeon or something, you'll be surprised how much stagger you do to popping somebody in the face with that thing, and they do not react. I mean, you're just so like fast, pew, 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 pew. Before you know it, they're dead. And you didn't have to get within close shotgun range. You're very easily able to defend yourself. I got a lot of kills with that thing, and so
yeah, you did. Yep.
Because I'm not comfortable with a shotgun anymore. I can't. I haven't had the time to practice, and I can't do what I used to do. But I can do those things with a sidearm now. So
yeah, I've been infusing my Iron Wreath. It's, I don't know, probably sitting around 305 because I love them, man. I got it out a time or two a while back, and I keep saying, man, I got to get that back out. It'd be so fun, and I just can't put the sniper rifle down. I need to do it.
Well,
man, for sure.
like I'm saying, in those situations where either your shot is off or you feel, outclassed or outmatched by a bunch of shotgun guys, that's when I swap to it.
Right.
Go to Mida
Right.
Iron Wreath, you get your agility, and you get your hot swap to switch that thing when you really need it, when somebody's pedaling on you and you've got to defend yourself. You gun them down quick. I've had a lot of shotgun rushers coming right at me, and I'm like, all right, you're going down, buddy.
Right, yeah. I love watching your character when I was dead, too, and you were just freaking firing that gun like crazy.
Dude, you can fire it so fast. It's incredible. I love it.
You can just tell, too, when you're tagging them, when you're watching your teammate, you're like, oh, he's going to kill him.
Yep.
There's no question about it.
If you can get the first shot off, I will outgun you if you're using a primary a lot of the time. Because of the stagger involved and just the amount of rounds I can put down range.
Right.
And then
That's
mine
good
has
stuff,
I forget the perk, but it gives you increased accuracy the longer you fire. So once I get the first couple shots off, like I can laser you right in the head with it. So I'm like killing people from like primary range with this thing.
Very nice, dude. I like
so
that.
give it a shot if you haven't. I know you've probably heard, plenty of people have heard about these things, but I'm really saying like sidearm is a very strong choice.
In other words, you're telling me to just put the sniper rifle down for a second and at least play
you're
around
pretty
with it.
good, so you may not need this advice. You're a strong sniper, but on those times when you're feeling off or you're getting rushed a lot,
Oh, it happens, man.
give it a shot.
That's a good. I think I'm going to do that next time. Actually, I got to give a shout out to Spotly and Voodoo again because I ran. I told him I probably had a few trials games in me after the Nightfall this afternoon, and I played like 2 or 3 rounds with them, and I can tell you. That was an example of I should have got out my sidearm because I didn't play any practice games, and on top of that, I wasn't on my shot, and I did not. I told them, I said, I should have asked you guys if you wanted me to play with you before I said, hey, you want to play? I'll play some trials with you because I was not on my shot, man.
Man.
But it was still fun though. It was a good time.
And last thing, and I swear I'm going to shut up about this, but guys, you start with special in this thing. Okay, so you don't have to worry about getting the special and the economy going on, at least until they change that. You get special every time that you are revived.
If you switch weapons, do you have sniper ammo? Do you know?
I think you have to have a certain amount. So if you spawn, say first round, I think you have maybe like 15 or 17 rounds or something. And if you switch to a sniper at that point, you will not have rounds. Gotcha. But I know at one point I had like 50 to 60 rounds from some special I picked up, and I swapped to a sniper, and I think I had 2 sniper rounds.
I gotcha.
So if you need to make a quick choice later in the game where you've got some special built up, you can do that.
Very nice, man. Very nice. Yep. I wanted to mention too. I played a couple games of the 3v3 freelance because it came up this week.
Oh, nice.
Instead of the 6v6, I played 2 games. I believe in those start in a fresh game. I didn't get dropped into one, and I won. I mean, we won both games. I had pretty decent games myself, and were paired with some pretty decent teammates. And I mean, we didn't just steamroll, but it was fun, man. It was just nice knowing that I'm playing a bunch of people that are just playing solo. It was really fun.
Yeah, I played some skirmish this week with a couple friends, but I didn't even think to jump into freelance.
Right. Yeah, it was skirmish that came up twice. I don't know if those are weighted any particular way or not, but anyways, you guys out there, Dirt Fam, tweet us about Exodus Blue and if you played any freelance or anything like that, let us know what you guys thought.
Yeah. I'd love to hear thoughts on that. I really wish that I had seen it. Maybe I'll jump on some of that tonight and see how it goes because I'm really in support of that playlist,
Yes, man. I wish they would at least the freelance ones, at least break the mold a little bit there and throw all versions of those up 24/7. That would be nice.
I think it would be wise.
Yep. I don't know if they're just gonna
maybe they're testing them out,
see how
how
much
popular they are. But I feel like the rotating playlist, like it kind of works against them in that people don't always necessarily go and look and see. I mean, I know I'm guilty of that. Sometimes I don't go and look and see what the playlists are to see if it's something cool I want to do.
Right.
And if I catch it, I'm like, oh wait, it's doubles. Oh, I got to play, right? Whatever. But that works against the mode, I think, as if they're trying to look at a sample size of like who's playing this, it's not always noticeable or visible to everybody unless they go looking for it. So
yeah, doubles is definitely one I wish I would catch more often for sure.
Yeah, it's almost like I wish they would say, okay, this month we're gonna have this playlist going all month. And then they can have like a realistic sample size of like who plays it, who's coming back, how many people are playing it regularly, and get a better idea of if that playlist should stick around, Yeah,
that's for sure, man. The Crucible director in and of itself is its own beast.
It's a freaking cluster, man.
It is, dude. We're talking about the whole game just being its own monster, but just that alone is a headache and a half.
Yeah,
just trying to figure that out.
I hope they're listening. They work on that.
Right.
All right, man. Let's get into some news.
Let's do it, dude. We got a little hot fix, didn't we?
Little baby hot fix, right?
Yeah, something you're just waiting for, man, right? Gonna log in before your buddy.
The day is nigh, my friends. 320 is upon me.
Getting close, man.
So we got a little hot fix. They said nothing to worry about, guys. We're just prepping to get these ghosts delivered. So they just did some behind the scenes work really quick.
I know people when they downloaded that update, they thought it was going to be something else.
Oh yeah, they're like, "Oh, what's happening?" People freak out when they get surprises like that. But nope, just getting that ready, or so they say.
They basically said they added a Crimson Day package to the game so that they could give us our 320 Ghost Shells on. And it's going to be on February 22nd or February 23rd is when you're going to get them.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming it's got to be the 23rd because I haven't heard anybody getting one yet.
Right, very true. Because the actual notes in the hotfix says qualifying players will receive the rewards on February 22nd or 23rd. So you're right, man. I'm not even paying attention to the date today. It's February 22nd.
Yeah, we're recording this on a Monday, so I don't know. I mean, I'll maybe log on later and check and see if it came up, but I just haven't heard of anybody getting one yet, and it would make sense for me for it to happen on reset. But either way,
it's crazy, man. I don't know.
Yep. So
that's good stuff, dude. Wait, hold on. You gotta tell us this real quick about your buddy. You guys, now it's the first one to log in.
Oh yeah. So if you listen, me and my friend Darth Digits, rating buddy, listener, Derp fan member, we've been in a competition. We've both needed the same piece of 320 gear, a 320 Ghost for. Shoot, I don't know. I mean, a month and a half. We've both been trying to get this piece. And then, we knew 320 Ghosts were possible to drop in doubles. That was a bunk. Then we saw, that they're going to guarantee one. So we've been psyched because that means, like, it's going to happen. We're going to hit 320, right? So then he hit me up on Twitter. So he said, so is the winner of the competition the first one to open it up and equip it? So somehow I got to stay up all night after reset or something, find out when this thing is going to drop. He's probably going to
be 10 a.m. 10 a.m. West Coast time.
But I will be 320 in the next 24 to 48 hours. And that's
exciting though, man.
And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, for a, what was it called? The chocolate one. The sugary Ghost Shell, is that what it was called? Whatever it was, the chocolate one, because I already have a crimson one. Knowing RNG luck, I'll probably get another crimson, but I'll take it.
I don't know, dude. That's I'm hoping. We played we think 5 or 6 matches for me on Xbox, and then we went and did trials, and then I didn't make it back to it. So I'm hoping they just give it to me because
I wouldn't count on it, Arrow.
I know, man. It's all numbers behind the scene. I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah,
That's
sorry.
All right. I'm gonna get it on PlayStation where I don't really need it, man.
I mean, you still need it on PlayStation. That's still gonna boost your light.
Yeah, that's true.
It'd be nice to have.
I think I got the very first and one of the very few times I ran the raid on hard, I got a 318.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you? That's nice. Yeah. So. Well, you can swap that 318 to one of your other characters and use a 320 on one.
Right.
You have options, you know.
Well, I don't know, man. It's exciting. We'll definitely have to talk about you hitting 320.
Oh, I will. I will let you know. So,
what about
this week at
update,
Bungie?
man? Yeah.
Let's talk. We're going to talk a couple points out of here. We're going to save one for our main topic. Kind of talk about the ins and outs of that. But what did we have in this week at Bungie? We talked about Iron Banner.
Got some Iron Banner.
Yeah.
Yes. Coming back. And surprisingly,
yeah.
Clash.
Yeah, call me stupid. I was like, well, no, it doesn't look like it's going to be anything but Control this week because they would have told us. Well, they told us. So I was wrong last week about that. Crazy. Clash is back. Thoughts?
Man, it just seems like, they've done a lot with matchmaking. Even we got another little side note here that they messed with it a little bit again. Skill ratings will be less of a factor in finding you a match. Lag will be even further diminished. Enjoying a game with your friends who are more or less skilled than you are will be easier. Yada, yada, yada. They said it's going to govern the impact poor connections have on matches in Clash, Rumble, Freelance, 3v3, and it's still live in Control. So I guess I didn't think Clash was included in that. That was what Bungie, Deej posted on the forum this past week, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people were like, Clash? Like, you've been messing with Control a lot, not Clash. So it's probably, I would assume, partially why you thought so as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, I don't know, Clash, here it is. I feel like this is a great time to go back to Control. But I actually enjoyed Clash. I'm not. Yeah,
I mean, I had a good time, so I'm not disappointed or anything. I just was surprised that we weren't going back to Control for a month.
It just seemed like the right time, right?
Yeah.
To drop back to Control for some reason.
But that's fine. I'll play. I'll have fun, I even have heard a couple of people say, well, now that it's Clash, I might play this month. So
right.
I think they engaged some people with that choice, and I'll look forward to it. I've always been a big proponent and had a lot of fun in sixes, so I'll get in there and shred,
Yeah, well, speaking of that, have you, I'm excited to play in this Iron Banner, man, because honestly, besides the random new green bar lag that happens every now and then, honestly, the Crucible is a pretty solid place right now for the most part.
I'd like to think so. I think we're in I think we're in a better place than we've been.
Not just
I wouldn't
yet.
say it's, everything I've ever dreamed of. There's certainly issues, and if you talk to some of the community members, they would say it's the furthest from a great place. But
right,
case in point, hit detection with Warlock melees right now is a freaking disaster. But I won't get into that.
Or those on the other end, those fire bolts you guys throw.
Yeah,
still need to be looked at, right?
That's what people say. I don't know.
You don't know on your end.
Things are
really
nice
see
and
that angle.
PG on my end of that.
That's funny. Well, what's weird too is they on this the forum post we mentioned from Deej, the very first sentence is we've taken additional steps to increase the emphasis on connection quality. So they're basically peeling back a layer of that skill based aspect of it. It looks like, right?
Yeah,
kind of giving us more emphasis. So maybe we won't see quite as many skills.
So if you have a good connection, then you'll benefit from this.
Right, and those game modes I mentioned earlier were where they extended the damage referee. Clash, Rumble, Freelance, 3v3, and Control.
Okay, cool.
I don't think I said damage referee, sorry.
Yeah, no, but that makes sense. But they mentioned for some of the rewards from Iron Banner this week, available from Lord Saladin at rank 3, we have gauntlets. Rank 4, we have helmet and sniper rifle. And rank 5, the rocket launcher. And then as post-game drops, at rank 2, gauntlets. At rank 3, helmet and sniper rifle. At rank 4, rocket launcher. So it seems like the same drops in the game will be what's available to buy this week. Mm-hmm. Which normally you see like last week's stuff. Last
that's
stuff,
true.
Right?
Yeah,
so that
that's
throws
true.
me off. I don't know. I might be wrong there, but...
I thought that didn't mean. I thought that didn't mean that's all that could drop.
I'm assuming there's other stuff that could drop, But
Right,
but I
that's
wouldn't be
just when
surprised if
those
it's
will.
weighted towards
Right.
this stuff, you know.
Mhm.
So you can get opportunities to get it. Because, you know, when they brought in Iron Banner after taking King, that was like a big thing is, like, we want you to have the opportunity to get this stuff through playing as opposed to having to buy every piece.
Right.
So I think that's what they're focusing on there. And then there's probably opportunity to get other guns as well, you know, on a random roll.
Yep. I'm excited to, I assume since the helmet is up for all the characters, the PlayStation exclusive, because it says PlayStation Gauntlets, I assume it's also the PlayStation exclusive helm.
Yeah.
Yep. Because that Warlock PlayStation exclusive helmet.
Yeah, it's really cool looking.
Oh, it's cool looking, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was up last time. I think I mentioned on the show, and it wasn't. I just looked at the update wrong. So I'm probably going to be Titan, of course, on Xbox and Warlock on PlayStation.
Nice.
Yep. So I'll be throwing those firebolts, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be fine with them for the next week.
And they also wanted to mention in the player support section relating to Iron Banner that you no longer need to return to orbit to receive rank 5 package rewards. Mm-hmm. But then they also mention that if you do not pick up your rank 3 package before reaching rank 5, you will lose that package.
That seems so weird to me, man. It seems like they could just stack them. Like,
yeah,
they would let us lose a package for continuing to play.
But at least
Iron
they
Banner.
know that that's an issue and they're telling people, right? Mm-hmm. So that just doesn't happen. And then people are like, I lost my package. What the hell, bungo?
Right.
So at least they know it's a problem. And, you know, be sure to go pick up that rank 3 package. You'll get a waypoint now when you have those packages. You know, the little icon above his head that you'll get led to in the tower. So just make sure you go by the tower and pick that up before you hit rank 5 so you can get an opportunity to get both those packages.
Very nice, man.
Do it.
Good little tips. Good little tips.
Pro tips, bro. Check me out
Straight
on MySpace.
This week at Bungie. Oh man! So we got someone kind of special returning this week, don't we?
We do have a very special guest. You may know him. You may have heard him on our show before. He is the wonderful, the talented, the moderator at the DTG subreddit. It's MisterWoodhouse.
Yes, it is.
And we're gonna go right into our interview here with him, guys. And I hope you enjoy. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with a wonderful returning guest. You may know him from the Twitterverse, from the Redditverse, from the Interverse. It's MisterWoodhouse, fabulous, talented mod from many subreddits, but our favorite, the DTG subreddit. How are you doing, Mr. Woodhouse?
I'm doing spectacular. How about you guys?
Doing great.
Very good, man. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah,
Thanks
it's great
for
to be
coming on
back.
again.
Derp fan made it happen, right?
Oh yeah.
Hopefully next time a little quicker, right? We want to see you on the show a little faster, right?
Yeah, that it kicked off pretty good, and then it lost some steam there, so we had to do a couple pushes to make it happen, but they eventually made it happen.
We got there.
Very
We got there. So Mr. Woodhouse challenged the Twitter community. Said, "Guys, get us this many followers, and I will return." And it finally happened. So we said, "All right, let's get this guy scheduled. Let's get him on." And here he is. So, for listeners who may be new or are familiar with us, with you, tell us a little bit, real quick, about your gaming career and in your favorite class and weapon in Destiny.
Well, my gaming career started off with a Game Boy Pocket and Super Mario Land 2.
Nice.
The 6 gold coins one. My grandmother bought that for me for my birthday one year, and I was immediately hooked on gaming. And I've pretty much touched on every single genre, and was a huge fan of Halo and Bungie in general. So Destiny just spoke to me as a gamer, and ended up as a moderator of Destiny the game after starting my own all caps ranting about RNG and loot subreddit called Didn't Get My Gallarhorn. And, then took it to the big leagues with the core Destiny sub. And, now I'm all the way up on the R Gaming mod team. And cool. As far as favorite class and weapon, it's got to go with Warlock and the multi-tool.
Nice.
Excellent choice.
Very good choices.
For the weapon. Sorry, not the class.
Hey, now.
I'm just kidding, man. I loved my Warlock with the first year 1 of Trials. I don't want to act like I don't like the Warlock.
Yeah, you used to talk good about him all the time.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, man.
What subclass are you enjoying most in the Warlock stratosphere?
I'm still a Sunsinger at heart, which is probably why I've been playing a lot of Titan since Taken King came out, because I just love the hammers.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't a huge fan of the Stormcaller. It just kind of, the lightning is cool and whatnot, but it didn't feel like, it didn't feel solid like Voidwalker and Sunsinger did. So I've been having a hard time convincing myself to go back to my beloved Warlock, especially because it's just so satisfying to activate, the Hammer of Soul. And it's just like that, that nice metallic gong. It's just like, you're going to die now.
Yep.
Everybody on the map panicking like when we used to hear Golden Gun and stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, God, who's Hammer? Who's Hammer?
And then you realize it's your teammates. Do you still actually find it to be pretty effective? Because a lot of people say, oh, man, hammers just aren't that great anymore. But I actually still find myself getting a lot of kills with them. At least a few each time I pop it, 2 or 3.
See, I just suck at Crucible, so I never got kills anyway, so I really don't know.
Gotcha.
It'd just be like, I get my super, I pop the hammer, and I turn into Oprah and just start distributing hammers. And it's just like, oh, cool. I got 1 kill from hitting 12 different people with that hammer.
Very nice.
It's like, oh, I was hitting my own teammates. Well, that explains it.
Yep.
That's good, man.
Still fun to sling them around.
Yeah, and even now that we're using Sun Charge on it, man, I agree. I can agree with you. Now we've leaned back over to Titans. I'm glad you went that route with it as well, man.
But what he was trying to say, though, was praise the sun.
Oh, of course.
True. It's the main thing you need to take away from that.
That was the underlying meaning of it all. Thank you, Cyborg.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
There's just something so satisfying about, throwing balls of fire at people.
This is true. This is true. Doesn't get any better. Well, we reserved part of our discussion from this week at Bungie to discuss with you. We thought you might have some good takes on what's going down here. So, Arrow, you want to kind of break down what we heard about with Twitch and streaming and what's going on over there this week?
Yes, they basically said, which this seemed to be a surprise to everybody who never really thought about it, but up until now, they haven't had an official space to do these reveals in these live streams that they've done for the expansions and things like that thus far. So they've got a 2-man team, and I'm sure some more, 2 that they featured, that basically they found some office space, and they are building a studio, and they plan on bringing us content once a week. What seemed to be like they mentioned starting in March with the ride-along.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm excited. I don't know. Do you guys think, my first question immediately, they said they're going to have casual hangouts, special guests, ride-alongs, Bungie bounties, and game reveals. Do you guys think, I was really surprised myself to hear once a week. Do you guys think that's too much? You think they can do something like that?
I think it really depends on the quality of the guests that they're bringing in. One of the things that I've really enjoyed about some of the Bungie bounties, particularly the Sparrow Racing League bounty, is drinking Deej. That when he did Sparrow Racing League and wore his cowboy hat and his sunglasses and drank beer and talked in a Southern accent the entire time, pretending that it was Days of Thunder and that rubbing is racing. I really enjoyed that. I found that was very entertaining. I liked seeing some people, in front of the camera that we usually don't get to hear from, some developers, some testers,
right.
Audio people, stuff like that. You get to see some of the unsung heroes of the studio coming to the forefront and getting to play their game on the big stage in front of everyone. And so I think if we can get to see some of that every week, it'll be a welcome addition, and just kind of getting some insight into how the different processes work at the studio, and just kind of closing that information void that people have been really complaining about since December. I think that would go a long way to repairing some of the lost trust that some players are feeling with Bungie.
Right.
Yeah, and to expand upon that, I think it would also serve well to kind of humanize more of the team and help us put names to faces and introduce us to people that we don't even know exist there. I mean, there's a plethora of employees at Bungie that we've never met or heard from, and I am the most interested when I get to hear from a member of that team that worked on a very specific function and get to hear about, like, why did they create this level in this design, and what was the thought process behind it, and why did they design this raid with these encounters, and what were their goals? Like, those things really intrigue me, and I think it's really interesting to people that just love gaming in general to hear about how they develop these parts of the game. And so, and I don't know if they'll get that in depth with everything they do. I do know that in the ride-alongs, those were really interesting when they did the 4 other patrol zones, and to get to hear about, why they did, this area this way, and here's this thing you may not have noticed, and the story behind it. And that stuff is pretty cool for me, as kind of a game geek. Right. So the more of that I get, I'm going to get a lot of value out of that.
Yeah, it's very interesting, man. Like, we were talking before the show, my initial thought was, we've talked about before how they don't have stuff to really tell us about in the weekly written update. So my first thought was, man, are they going to have something every week on a live Twitch stream? But really, that you're right. When we were talking about, they don't have to have anything. We're going to be thrilled, like both of you said, just to see the studio and see some guys playing the game and having that connection with the community. Like, that in and of itself is going to be pretty valuable, I think.
Yeah, I think it will be too. And especially to see them playing, what's the mode that's out this week, if it's an Iron Banner and they have guys come on play Iron Banner, just see them play it and talk about it, the way that we do, and just whatever's going on. I don't think they're going to have a hard time coming up with content for this stuff. I think the Destiny has plenty of playing space to kind of play around in, that they'll do fine, and I'm excited to see them committing to doing this.
Yeah, I'd love to see an Iron Banner thing with John and Lars and Luke and Deej and Cosmo and Eric and them all trying to play, and seeing how sweaty we can get some of those Iron Banner Bungie bounties going.
Yeah, man. I wish they'd have been on that this week.
That's a good point. Yeah,
maybe next month we'll see it. That'd be fun.
What do you guys think about, I've heard this mentioned on a couple other podcasts, like, this is an opportunity for them to accidentally slip up some leaks, whether intentional or not. When they're sitting here live, they said they didn't really want it to feel scripted. One of the guys that was kind of in the spotlight of the 2 members in the weekly update, so it's kind of going to be, it's going to be live. They wanted it to feel like Twitch. So we may see some accidental information released, maybe.
And I think they're kind of comfortable with that, because at this point, people are getting kind of tired of how controlled the flow of information is. So, even the most insignificant of leaks would be, a big thing, and people will be happy about that.
Yeah.
For sure.
No doubt. So overall, I think this will be a fun thing, and I'm looking forward to seeing this kick off. Especially excited because I think they're starting out with the ride along of the Dreadnought, And you lore
that's cool.
geeks out there, I would strongly encourage you to pay attention to that, because they usually give a lot of background into the design choices that they make and what certain areas of a patrol space mean and why they're there. And hey, check out, this statue. This is why it's here, blah, blah, blah. So that should be a little treasure trove of information there if you're into the lore.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing about some of the artistic choices with the Dreadnought, because I mean, the place is just gorgeous.
Yeah,
I wanted to mention to you too, Mr. Woodhouse. Like, this is obviously, I mean, definitely coming from you from the subreddit. This is obviously an answer to us without flat out saying it, to us, the community. Like, guys, we're listening. We realize we need to be a little more open and have a relationship with you, other than just a written weekly update, right? I mean, and pretty much, you think?
Yeah, it definitely feels like that, especially since so many of the Twitch events have been really well received. The lead up to the various DLCs with the special guests have been a pretty big deal. They've had some pretty successful Bungie bounties. I think with the aforementioned Sparrow Racing League Bungie bounty, they really gave us a taste of what they were planning with this. That it was, hey, we're just going to hang out and we're going to play this game and you're going to get to meet some people and it's going to be cool, and Deej is going to drink some beers and get a little goofy. If that's what 75% of these things end up being, I think people will be okay. That if a quarter of the time we get like, oh, hey, Pete's going to stop by and he's going to talk to us about the roadmap. And, we're going to have a Friday with Pete where we're just going to talk really serious stuff and everyone needs to tune in. If that shows up every now and then and the rest of it's kind of just loosey-goosey, people are going to be very, very happy.
Yeah, I can tell you, if they do this during work hours, which they're going to, I'm going to be hitting that subreddit, refreshing all day long. Man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there was that, there have been a couple of these events where they didn't do it during work hours. And I would appreciate it if they would do that, because I'd like to, be able to sit back at home and put it up on my big screen and crack open a beer alongside Deej. Rather than being at work and transcribing everything furiously for Destiny Reddit Live.
Completely agree, man.
Because I have a feeling that the subreddit would absolutely revolt if I decided not to do a live transcript of a Twitch event.
Yeah, I think you'd be up shit creek there.
Yeah. I'd be sending you a message immediately, right?
I always find myself aggravated because, I'm an Xbox One player, and every time they do an Xbox One Bungie bounty, it's like, oh, hey, guys, it's at 2 p.m. this Tuesday. I'm like, what? Who's playing at that time? Like,
Europeans.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's at work or they're on the other side of the earth or they're at school. I mean, whatever. It always chaps my ass when they do that. I'm like, do it at a time when people are on.
At least every now and then, right?
Yeah, at least once.
Yeah. Right.
But that's a gripe. I'll stuff it. So
it sounds like we're all pretty excited about this, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, yeah.
It has a lot of potential. And I think that, the community is going to reward them opening up even a little bit, just people telling their stories. And even if we don't get any great new information, at least it's Bungie communicating to us in a new way. And it shows that they're making the effort to engage with us a little bit more, especially after this long period of silence that we went through.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
My only last question is, where did they find this mysterious office space and who got fired?
I hear that they moved a ping pong table and that there was much contention about that.
Ooh, that's brutal. I can imagine. Well, hopefully they find a new home for that ping pong table, because ping pong is important.
Yeah, I'll have to ask Cosmo about that.
Yep. Get us the inside scoop on that, man. On that ping pong table. The people need to know.
Now, believe it or not, it was actually very subtly teased that this was happening a couple weeks ago. I noticed a tweet that went out from a Bungie employee who was, I believe, ended up being one of the two guys working on the Twitch studio, that was just talking about, I have new appreciation for people that set up all of this video streaming and working with the engineering of it all. And I immediately grabbed that and threw it in our mod chat and was just like, oh my God, are they adding like Crucible streaming into the Tower Bar or something? Like, what does this mean?
Good catch, man.
So sure enough, there we go. Like, a couple weeks later, here we are, Twitch studio.
Nice. You'll be surprised what you can randomly perchance pick up from any Bungie employee's Twitter. Just reading between the lines of stuff sometimes,
Also, word choice in what Deej writes.
Oh yeah, he's very poignant with that stuff.
Oh, yeah, he can tease stuff like really subtly over a couple of weeks for something that's 2 months down the road.
Right.
And you don't realize it until it gets announced. Then you're like, oh my God.
I love that stuff though, man. Like even when they do it in game and stuff like that, it's just classic. Yeah.
Yep. Well, we've got some few questions from the Derp fam for you if you're ready.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, man. We have a good buddy of mine, Cody Carl Digits. That's gamertag Darth Digits. He wants to know, how do you balance the workload of modding all of the different subreddits you mod? And how many are you on right now?
How many am I on? I actually have to look this up.
Jeez, yeah, I think you have a problem.
That's too many.
Yeah, it's a lot. Including private subreddits, it's up to 27.
Oh wow.
My gosh, man.
So are you getting paid yet?
No, I don't get paid. Just public subreddits, it's 15.
Okay. Wait, so what are all these private subreddits you mod?
A lot of them on Reddit, when different subs are planning things, they like to have a private back room, just so that people can gather their thoughts, and rather than talking about things in a live chat, just put stuff down for, permanency.
Yeah.
So that people can, just sit down, read what everyone else thought, and come to a decision.
Yeah.
I was going to say, before you started telling us about that little part, the listeners probably heard a little jitter in the audio, and we cut out the actual story you told. And then we're actually hearing this now. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
But yeah, so it's a lot of stuff like that. In terms of the public subreddits, it's gaming, Fallout, Destiny the Game, Fire Teams, PlayArc, Bungie, Fluffy Dogs, Didn't Get My Gallarhorn, Destiny the Game CSS, Survive Together, which is our PlayArc version of Fire Teams, Default Talk, which is a public forum for moderators of default subs to discuss moderator things.
Geeky.
R Bowie, which is the David Bowie subreddit. YT Killer, Mods and Admins Gone Wild, which is literally just a sub I created because somebody wrote it in some comment section, and I thought it was a hilarious idea, and there are 0 posts on it.
Nice.
And Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Very good.
Which I was amazed did not already exist.
Nice. Destiny the Game and Fallout alone, man. I mean, that's gotta keep you busy, right?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to great teams, and not having, obviously to do all that on my own. I've got great teams: Destiny the Game, PlayArc, Fallout, gaming, and then everything else. I'm either, one of 2 mods, or the only mod, or there's no work to be done. And, it's making the most of the tools that Reddit gives you, great coordination with your team, and using all the third-party mods you can get.
Right.
Toolbox is a godsend. Reddit Enhancement Suite is a huge deal.
Yeah.
We've even created some of our own tools, just because we weren't satisfied with what was out there. So in terms of bots and analytics and being able to give us the most information and the best information to be able to do our job well on Destiny the game, I think we have some of the best tools on all of Reddit.
Yeah, you've told us about some of that stuff last episode that you guys have created is pretty impressive. Just for this one subreddit about a video game, you guys have really delved in deep to serve that subreddit well. So it's pretty cool what you guys put into it, I believe.
Well, it really came out of necessity. We had a post in the past month from a user who had taken the full publicly available comment table from Reddit, which was absolutely massive, and did a lot of analysis on it and found that Destiny the game was in the top 10 for most comments out of all of the public subreddits.
Yeah.
Wow.
On the entire site.
Yeah, I saw that.
That is insane, man.
So it just
Destiny.
shows you the volume that we're dealing with. And so a lot of these tools and some of the stuff we've done with auto mod and whatnot has, just been necessary. Otherwise we'd have to have way more moderators.
Well, even people that trickle out of playing the game, I mean, they all still say they check the subreddit pretty often, So it's like something that just sticks around, whether you're playing or not.
Yeah, we see a lot of comments from people, especially right now, that, someone will be like, oh, I haven't played Destiny since October, but I'm here for hours every day. It's just like, wow. I mean,
yeah. Well, and we actually, speaking of that, we got a question from Edward. You guys probably know him as Holden Court. He says, hey guys, first off, Derp fam. He says, glad Mr. Woodhouse made it back on the podcast. Only really had one comment more than a question. The Destiny the game subreddit is awesome overall, but I have found myself visiting it less due to all the negative comments posted around either content drought, PvP balances, etc. Hence, besides going there at Weekly Reset, Arms Day, and Xur Day, I find myself reviewing the sub less. I know the rant day comes around once a week, but should the high sodium contents be shown the way to a dedicated sub? Also, love the new light dark theme and overall look of the sub. Props to the designers. So, his isn't necessarily because lack of gameplay, but I mean, he hits on a very specific point here with saltiness on the subreddit. What do you think about that, man?
Salt is, it's a problem right now. Well, I say it's a problem.
We have too much time on our hands, right?
Yeah, it's a phenomenon. It's both a great thing and a bad thing. It's great because it shows that we're really passionate about this game and we want only great things for the game, and we want to be able to consume more. But at the same time, it is bringing out some anger and hostility in people, and it is making, the subreddit a tough place for some people to feel like they can visit, from day to day. And we've been approached with some ideas on how we can curtail that. None of them we've found to be, viable or, even consistent with how we view our role. Some people have said, can we get a salt flare for posts that are, just, bitching about stuff? And we've said consistently to that request, no, that we don't want to feel like we don't want people to feel like they can't come in here and make complaints that they feel are valid, without being, shunted off into a special section just for the whiners.
Right.
That we want people to feel like the subreddit is for them because they're a member of the community. And that they can come and discuss the game. You know, they don't have to be positive about the game. They don't have to be negative about the game. You know, they can be indifferent about the game and just kind of be like, meh. But, you know, we just need the content drought to end. And I feel like, you know, it's just an extended cycle this time around, that we saw this shortly before some DLC reveals in the past. It's just, you know, it's more powerful because it's been a longer stretch.
We joked around on a couple episodes ago, or maybe it was the last episode, that we have too much time on our hands right now.
Yeah.
So it's leaning to that instead, right?
Yeah, it's somebody said if the folks behind the Division really wanted to make some money, they should have released it in January. And I think that they're probably right. But ultimately, I think that the Division might be the first case of WoW killer syndrome for Destiny here. But we have seen a lot of salt about Destiny. We've seen a lot of, you know, oh my God, Bungie, you need to do this like the Division does this. We've seen a lot of Bungo, where's my content? And, you know, I'm really hoping it's going to come to an end soon with the spring update. But yeah, and as to the light and dark themes, you know, thanks for the feedback, Holden Court. Horizon, we think, did a great job. If we had known how quickly we were going to be able to get the light theme done after the dark theme was deployed, we would have waited 2 days and deployed them side by side. But we severely underestimated how much time, or overestimated how much time was needed. You know, we thought it was going to be another week or two before we had it ready for launch, but, you know, Horizon went to bed after, you know, launching the dark theme because he's, you know, down under, and woke back up and said, all right, let's get to work. And by the time he was going to bed again, you know, 24 or 48 hours later, we're like, all right, let's go. Turn on the lights.
Grind it out.
I gotta say, man, it looks awesome. It's so crazy. Like you were kind of touching on earlier, all the tools you guys use and stuff. I mean, we go to that thing every day, and it's so easy to take for granted something that just works so smoothly, right? And something we're just used to. And then you do a layout change or a look change like that, a design change, and I mean, I pulled it up and I'm like, oh, wow, this looks freaking awesome, dude. It's I don't know, it's very cool, man.
Yeah, and you know, I like the light theme better. You know, the dark theme is a little bit too dark for me.
Right.
A lot of people do like the dark theme because they like using night mode with Reddit Enhancement Suite. And while our dark theme isn't night mode compliant because we wanted to have it available for more users, not just people that use Reddit Enhancement Suite, it is that flavor that they're looking for. And I think people noticed that 2 days after we launched our dark theme, Bungie launched theirs.
Strange.
Wonder what that's
works.
about.
Interesting, right?
That's funny. Yeah, so, well, let me ask you this, going back a couple steps here, talking about, you know, the state of the DTG subreddit, because, you know, as you've kind of alluded to, the patterns that we see both in your subreddit, but also throughout the community are kind of cyclical, and hinge a lot based on, you know, where are we in the content drop schedule. And, you know, we're starting to see more patterns here. You know, as we see the lulls, we start to see more negativity, people dropping out, people with too much time in their hands, find things to complain about, you know, etc. And you mentioned how your overall philosophy as mods of that subreddit is that you're not looking to censor or control the conversation there. Which to me seems like a more global, Reddit, based philosophy, that is kind of more the norm in most normal subreddits, where you're not really looking to control the content. You're looking to make sure it adds value, right?
Right.
So how does that compare to, a sister, brother, cousin, subreddit like Crucible Playbook, where they seek and actively work to control the tone of the conversation there? Those guys that get a lot of criticism, and I'm sure you're familiar with them in the subreddit and what goes on there. But they get a lot of criticism about how they, I won't use the word censor, but more seek to control the conversation and keep it very specific beyond just Crucible, but on the strategy and things that go into Crucible and improving your game and et cetera. And a lot of guys complain because they'll get on that subreddit and, get censored or get their posts removed because there's too much salt or they're wearing out an issue or something. So as a mod of of the bigger subreddit and the more general subreddit, like, how do you view that perspective and how do you compare yours to something like Crucible Playbook?
Well, you kind of said it right there. Destiny the game is, it's the general hub for Destiny conversation that, we're looking to be a place where you can go to discuss pretty much everything in the Destiny universe. Crucible Playbook, they have a very specific idea of what they want their community's discussion to be, and power to them. That's exactly how Reddit is supposed to work. That if you want to create a community to discuss something you have in mind the way you want to discuss it, the create a subreddit button is right on the front page. I'm never going to criticize other mods for doing what they want to do with their community. That's their right. That's written right in the Reddit rules that, moderators can control the communities that they've created as they see fit. And I think the Crucible Playbook guys have done a great job with, going after what their vision is for their subreddit, which is, we're here to discuss the Crucible. We're here to discuss getting better at PvP. We're not here to bitch about every little thing and balance and, 1,000 different haikus on why you hate Thorn. And yeah. I think there's something beautiful about that. That it's, hey, don't bring your negativity in here. Let's talk about solutions, not just problems.
Right.
Which is, Cyborg is something we can kind of share with our community, man, because we try to keep things as constructive and positive as possible, But, at the level you're dealing with Destiny the game, it's pretty crazy to think about how much you guys have to pay attention to. We were kind of, like we had mentioned about how many people are visiting that thing and commenting daily is just insane,
Yeah, we when we had the Taken King coming up, we were starting to look at the monthly user statistics and just, seeing where our old records were. And the previous record had been October, right after Destiny came out. That was the first full month with Destiny released. And we said, hey, I think we might be able to top that. And I'm pretty sure our old record was like 71 million page views.
Wow.
And, we're like a week or two in and we're looking at the metrics and we're like, okay, yeah, it looks like we're going to hit like 73, 74. And then we just saw this huge spike. And we ended up finishing off October of 2015 with 82.5 million people coming in. And that was 4.6 million unique users. So that is a lot of people coming in and looking at multiple pages. And while it's certainly gone down, in recent months, we're 22 days into February, and we're looking at a healthy 18.3 million page views for a game that is essentially just running on PvP juice.
Yeah, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty darn good.
You said 4.6 unique users?
Yeah, 4.6 million unique users in October.
Wow. I mean, Destiny the game only has 1 million followers. So obviously not that many people are using Twitter, I guess. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and we only have we're coming up on 250,000 subscribers, so it's a lot of people that are coming in via Google and whatnot that every now and then during year one, I would get a comment, this was after House of Wolves came out, that people would be looking for Party Crasher roles. And I would get a notice on a comment I had made of somebody saying, I just created an account because I found this on Google, top hit for best Party Crasher role possible. And I was just like, wow, I'm at the top of Google for something.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a lot of people coming in for stuff like that because, when you really look into Destiny on Google or your search engine of choice, you do find our subreddit very close to the top, especially if you're, being very specific in what you're looking for with your content.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure you end up there really quick, man.
Yeah, so sure. I can't wait to see what the spike ends up being once Bungie starts rolling out the good juicy info about the spring update.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, speaking of that, we had a question from Robert on Facebook, and among other things, he mentioned, what's the most unexpectedly difficult things about managing the subreddit? What would you like to see lore-wise from the spring update? And can I have my own flare?
Well, I'll answer the last one first.
Okay.
Yes, you can go over to this on the sidebar. There's a button that says your flare looks like this on the subreddit. You click the little edit link right next to it, and you pick one of the lovely flares we have. There is only one user on the entire subreddit who's not a mod that has their own custom flare. No, scratch that. There's two.
Oh, who are they?
One of them is the guy that wrote almost all of, if not all of, the Grimoire.
Nice.
And no longer works for Bungie, so he doesn't have Bungie flair. So we gave him a pencil flare because he's the writer. And then the winner of our first Summer Showdown last year got to design her own flare.
Nice.
So
nice,
Lima Cat has a little thing that she did that depicts her favorite character in Destiny, which I believe is her Awoken Hunter.
Very cool.
Well, Cyborg, I guess we'll scratch off here real quick. Please, can we have Destiny Reset Podcast custom flare?
Yep.
That's a big negative, Ghost Rider.
All right.
Can you make that a general flare so anybody can add it?
No, because there are too many podcasts and we have to be fair to everyone.
Yeah. No, man.
That is
You
understandable,
come on our
man.
show. You don't have to be fair.
Oh, well, see, he's being a little more hardcore about it. I'm just going to continue to scratch it off of the notes.
I am a salesman. What can I say? All right.
And
but
about
going
at
back,
this point in the time listening to the show, this is when I'm going to start getting all kinds of DMs on
Lord.
Twitter from the likes of the Crucible Radio guys and whatnot, being like, bro, custom flare, come on, I'm on there all the time.
I'm not going to say that I'm going to start a campaign, but I'm going to start a campaign. I'm sorry. Please forgive me in advance.
Make Destiny the game great again.
Something like that. He also asked again, what's the most unexpectedly difficult things about managing the subreddit?
One of the things that's been difficult is getting people to understand the concept of self-promotional spam. As far as Reddit defines it, anything that's off-site that you have a vested interest in that you're posting a link to is considered self-promotional.
Mm-hmm.
It is intent agnostic. It is monetization agnostic. We don't care if you're paying somebody to host that content and you will never see a dime in return in 1,000 lifetimes. By definition, it is self-promotional if you're sharing it. And spam is just the word that Reddit has chosen to use. We can call it self-promotional falafel if you like. Spam's not a dirty word. It's just a word. And it's not just this sub, it's PlayArc, it's gaming, it's Fallout. People that aren't super well versed in Reddit sometimes have a tough time wrapping their head around that particular definition and what it means with the whole 9-to-1 activity ratio. And I think that part of that is that the Reddit admins don't do a great job of explaining what the self-promotional guidelines are for the core, the core site.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they could do a lot better job of explaining that to people in a little bit more upfront way, rather than relying on the subreddits to decide whether or not they're going to codify those guidelines into rules and then explain it to their users. But that is a discussion for another day. As far as lore is concerned for the spring update, I truly believe that the spring update will bring back the old end game in a new difficulty with new fights and new lore.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
I think we're going to see Vault of Glass reborn. I think we're going to see Crota's End reborn, maybe with a different end boss than Crota. And show off some new lore with some voiceovers, maybe some cutscenes.
Oh, wow. Setting high expectations here, man.
Yeah, but then again, I am the eternal optimist when it comes to content additions.
Yeah, you're way more optimistic than me right now.
Yeah, it's going to be all of that and your card game.
Oh, wow.
Oh yes, we got to talk about that here in just a second. Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to get you guys' opinion on it. But people seem to be focusing on that weekly update we got week before on the word replayability. And I'm just worried I'm super excited that word was included in that paragraph, but could we be focusing on it too much? Or do you think they intentionally put that word there to hint towards some sort of mechanic going in the game to bring back finally the old raids, or maybe some sort of wave-based type of PvE content, have you guys noticed that?
They were very intentional with that. As we said earlier, Deej picks his words very carefully. And I think that is a hint towards something that the community has been asking for a while. And, personally, I think it means that we're getting the new raids back with new difficulty and new lore. But I think it could also be a different twist on that. And I think it could be something that people have been asking for since the early days of vanilla, before even the Dark Below came out. Mm-hmm. I think we could be looking at Nightfall raids.
Oh, yes. We talked about that before.
Oh, that just gives me goosebumps and, fever dreams just thinking about it.
Some new challenges.
It just seems like, just a few little things here and there to create that replayability just would go so far with this game. I wanted to mention too, we got a tweet from our friend goes by Donnie. He sent us an article that, and I'm sure you guys saw this, on the Armory on their website. I just wanted to mention this real quick. Did you guys see that the light says from 240 to 330? Has that always been that way? He sent us this article that somebody noticed this past week, that the light level says up to 330 on the Iron Banner gear in the Armory. Did you guys see that?
It has said that on a couple of items for a while.
Okay.
that some 330 light has been showing up on some gear.
Okay.
And I think people assumed for a while that it was going to be tied to the challenge mode gear. And then when that didn't happen, people were like, well, clearly there's something coming.
Right.
And I think that'll be part of the spring update, is that we're going to see some 330 gear make it into the mix for some current activities. And then I think we could be pushing beyond 330 with some new and reborn activities.
Right. Yeah, that was my next question real quick. What do you guys think a significant light increase is?
I think it would be 550 or 350 to 360.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, I would.
What do you think,
if
Cyborg?
I was going to call it significant, I would hope for, at least 30 to 40 points.
Right. I guess when you include the grind that you're currently experiencing, Cyborg,
Yeah.
that's pretty darn significant, right?
Well, and to make it feel impactful, a 10-point light gain is not impactful in my opinion, So I'm expecting at least up to 340-ish, at a minimum. But I don't know, it's just hard to judge because this is a whole new light system, and the way that we saw attack values and defense values and stuff rise in the past is just a whole different system. So it's kind of hard to know what their language is when they use that term, because we don't know, well, what are we building up to, and how, it is 1,000 the final light level, how are they incrementing this, and
right,
who knows?
A lot of speculation. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to know because this is the first time that we're going to see a new planned
Right.
power increase that wasn't part of an original paid content release roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
That with having Crota's End come out, and then with having House of Wolves come out, and having Taken King come out, we understood what the upper limit of the power was going to be, even if it wasn't attainable on day one, no matter how much you grinded and no matter how, how many goats you sacrificed to RNGesus, that you understood, okay, with hard mode, I'm going to be able to reach this.
Right.
And now we're venturing into uncharted territories with having this free update to the Taken King, where we're getting a power upgrade, and we don't really know where this could be taking us because it's the first one under the light system that we don't have the plan for.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll find out soon enough, I suppose.
Yeah, I hope. I had to bounce this off of you guys. I posted something on the Destiny the Game subreddit the past week or so.
Ooh, fancy.
And thank you, Mr. Woodhouse, for commenting, because I didn't get a lot of hits, but you were very kind and commented several times. But I've said this on several shows. I want a some sort of game in the tower. Many people have mentioned this, that we can play while we're waiting on our friends when we just want to play it. We don't want to run anything else at the moment. And I started playing The Witcher 3 the last couple weeks, and I am new to the card game that is in that game. I believe it's called, is it Gwent? Is that how you say the card game in there? Gwent? Man, I mean, instantly, I'm like, okay, I'm playing this massive, pretty much full-blown open world game, and I can collect these cards by beating NPCs or buying them from vendors. And I mean, it was almost, I think it was that night when I was falling asleep, I'm like, wait a second, this would be amazing in Destiny. And I mean, it's already pretty much in place. It would have to be tweaked, and I don't know how they would lay it out, but with the Grimoire cards, and say you complete raids, nightfalls, get this many kills, you unlock cards in the game. The whole aspect in The Witcher 3 where you actually build your own deck. There's different sets of decks. It's nothing too extravagant. I don't know if you guys have played it. It's just attack values, defense values, and then some cards have weather effects, that basically throw it on a whole lane on the board. But how cool would it be to have this in the game that you could just go play in the tower, even if we couldn't bet Glimmer on it or anything? It would be so cool. And then somebody commented and mentioned even having like rare and legendary and exotic level cards, and you collect these. I mean, the replayability, I would be so thrilled if they put this in the game. It would just be so cool.
Yeah, and I think it would, having those rarer cards and, maybe being able to buy like packs from Zur on Friday and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think that would add a little bit of excitement back to the game, with, maybe not a ton of development resources that you need.
Right.
That a lot of people like Gwent. A lot of people like playing Caravan in Fallout New Vegas. I believe somebody said that Star Wars Battlefront has holo chests that you can play. Mm-hmm. So it's, these in-game things are, a little bit of fun. The game doesn't even have to be balanced well. It can be just an absolute dumpster fire of balance.
Just for fun.
Well, God knows.
But yeah,
Bungie can
just
handle
having
that,
anything.
Right?
Even if they did like, just war or like poker or something, and it just had Destiny themed playing cards, I think people would eat that up, and that, they'd go to the bar and play that with their friends. And, like you said, while they're waiting for people to sign on for a raid, it'd be a lot of fun. It'd be something you can add, and it would attract so much salt that the place would look like the Dead Sea, because people would be like, oh my God, Bungie, why are you developing this instead of giving us 17 more raids?
Right.
Hashtag unrealistic expectation. Hashtag just give it to me.
The biggest thing that jumped at me was the opportunity they have to tie this into the Grimoire cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you already have these cards that you either earn or find throughout the game, with, a character or a piece of lore tied to it. So it would only seem natural to work that into a card game mechanic where, you go through the world and you can earn Grimoire, killing specific bosses or finding dead ghosts and etc. The tougher it is to get, the more powerful the card could be. Give you a little bit more meaning behind having this external Grimoire card system. I think it would be pretty cool. And it could also really reward the people that can grind out, the tough to get cards, and, give you a little bit more, bragging rights when you're like, oh yeah, I got the 100 Rumbles card, you're going down,
Right, yeah. I think the deck building aspect of it would be so neat, because, I was trying to think of how they would balance the Grimoire. Like if they just looked at it all and said, how are we going to do this? Well, I mean, if you beat bosses in the raid, all the way, if you beat Oryx on hard mode, you get this pretty rare card, from beating the final boss in the most recent raid.
Right.
And then if you find this ghost on the banister when Iron Banner's open, you get a card that does one attack,
Yeah.
I mean, it would take an overhaul of the Grimoire system, but I even think it would be cool, and the replayability, that it would give just for doing things like the Nightfall. Imagine if you had a chance to get, and some people are going to want a gun instead, but if you really enjoy this card game, and there you go, I'm immediately thinking of some saltiness that would come with that. Somebody gets a card and they don't want it. But man,
it'd be like a sparrow horn.
For me, if I got like an exotic card to put in my deck that was super rare, man, I would be pumped, man. It would be so cool. It's better than a ghost shell, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And not to mention, to be the devil's advocate here, but maybe to help shoehorn this thing in, I mean, guys, if this doesn't say Eververse all over it, I don't know what to say. I can't give you any better hints here, Bungie.
Buy packs, buy card packs.
Yeah, starter set, with a chance at one exotic card, blah, blah, blibbity, blah.
Oh, man. Yeah, somebody commented that as well. Something not quite to that level with a chance. Man, you're right.
That's how they play it, man. Come on, you know how it goes.
All over it. But again, I guess it would be our choice,
Yep, and I'm going to preemptively shut down all of the arguments that is pay to win. It is not pay to win. Go play Hearthstone. It's the exact same system.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. And Hearthstone is freaking huge, man.
Hearthstone's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I've seen,
Well,
who was it that I was, there's a Destiny player that plays Hearthstone and streams it sometime. I'm trying to remember who it is. I'll have to look it up. His Twitter. But he's always like, man, this game is nuts. I don't know if I'm cut out for this.
I've played it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I had to throw that out to you guys. I was maybe a little over pumped about that, but man, it just sounds so fun.
No,
I'm
I'm totally behind you on this thing, man. I think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah,
Cool.
it would have to be something that they either deliver, later in the year with the full expansion,
Full thing, right?
or it would have to be in a sequel. It's just one of those things that if they don't deliver it with enough traditional content surrounding it, it's just going to be a lightning rod for the complainers.
Right. Yeah, we were chatting about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Cyborg may have something for you, a little random.
Yeah, I got
Mr.
something
Woodhouse.
special for you this week. So we're gonna start a tradition here, Mr. Woodhouse. Every time you come on the show, we're gonna do a fun thing called Things Mr. Woodhouse Says. And the idea here is I'm going to literally randomly browse your comment history and Twitter feed, find a comment that I find interesting, and ask you to comment on that comment. Okay, you ready for this?
Sure.
All right, first one coming up. All right, I'm browsing your Twitter feed. And, okay, here's a great one. Mr. Woodhouse says on Twitter, I think the whole Kappa shtick has run its course. Care to explain?
Yeah, it's, I'll probably attract some heat for this, but it's a little bit cringy for me. That, I kind of like /s for the sarcasm instead of, people blaring out in all caps. Oh my God, Kappa, 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 Kappa. It's like, guys, we're not in college anymore. You can stop spouting out the Greek letters.
Isn't that part of the fun behind using Kappa is the absolute absurdity of it?
It was at first, but I think people are using it too seriously now. That part of what made the shtick great was that it was, ironic, and now people are using it seriously instead of being like, /s, obviously I'm being sarcastic here.
Yeah.
That they're, saying something where they're literally, trying to make this point and then just putting Kappa at the end of it to be like, oh, seriously, but not seriously. And I'm not being ironic.
So
that I enjoyed the irony of Kappa, and I feel like it's been lost as it's gone, a little bit more mainstream to be as hipster as I can possibly be.
yeah, so that overall your problem is just that it's too mainstream and you're a hipster. Fair enough?
Pretty much.
Okay,
That
fair
sums
enough.
it up.
All right. Scrolling through your comment history, and I have to go pretty far because there is a lot of your post/comment has been removed for the following reasons.
Yeah, that's probably the number one thing that
is
Mr.
most of
Woodhouse
your
says.
posts. Here's a funny one. Ditto, my turtle face is epic.
Yeah, that was pretty sure that was on Video Game Lawyer's AMA today, in which he said that he really enjoys Rick and Morty and that Nick Miller is his spirit animal. Now, Nick Miller, of course, being the best character in the TV show New Girl.
New Girl.
And Nick Miller's signature look when he's judging people or unhappy or just, pretty much any emotion other than, drunk happy, is he makes a frowny face similar to Grumpy Cat, which is described as the turtle face.
The turtle face.
And according to my cousin, that is the exact face that I make in pretty much all of those situations, which
Nice.
makes Nick Miller my spirit animal in addition to Video Game Lawyers.
And this is pretty
Video game
funny
attorneys
because
or whatever it is.
to reinforce your statement here, I'm cruising your Twitter, and you responded to our friend at Ignite with a picture of Nick Miller's turtle face today.
I do love that picture.
It is a great picture, and it was preceded by a similar turtle face performed by Ignite himself. But I just don't think he can live up to Nick Miller, unfortunately.
That was a pretty epic one, though.
He did good. He had a deep frown there.
Yeah, that was very, very deep frown. I was quite impressed.
Very good. All right, I'm browsing. We're going to do one more. Looking through your comments. Let's see what we got. Past the ban. Past another ban. I'm looking. All right.
Man, the bans.
So many removed posts. Here we go. At what point have we acted like Bethesda employees? I want to make sure that we don't unintentionally confuse people in the future in the Fallout.
So that's from our Fallout. We do community events every now and then, and Horizon, who I met on the Fallout team and I've brought over to the Destiny team because he is a CSS wizard. He absolutely loves putting together these community events. Using, ciphers and creating these great, Vault Tech themed graphics. And we put up a Vault Tech themed cipher today, just as a teaser for something we have coming soon. And a lot of people got unhappy about that because they thought that we were teasing something for Bethesda. Newsflash, people, Bethesda doesn't tell us anything. We have little to no communication with them. We're not affiliated with them. We're not Bethesda employees. We are just people who enjoy Fallout, and some people
talk about it.
Yeah, and some people thought that we weren't being clear about that. So I wanted to get, that one user's input on ways that we maybe have been confusing in that regard and how we could improve on that with transparency and whatnot, because we don't want to give the wrong impression as moderators of our Fallout. So
yeah,
that's what that was going on.
Do you think you caught some salt off of that because of the ARG, what would you call this? The conspiracy and, following aftermath from the random guy that did the fake ARG a couple years ago.
Oh, the Survivor 2299 or whatever it was.
You think people are still burned from that? Maybe.
I think some people are. And I think it's a combination of that, all of the DLC news that came out last week, which was very exciting.
Yeah.
The fact that the subreddit theme for Fallout looks so damn good that people think it's actually made by Bethesda, which, Horizon just has done a phenomenal job over there. And then also somebody complained about how Horizon's moderator Flair said Vault Tech official. Because we style ourselves after the overseers, the vaults and whatnot. We, anytime I make a mod post, I sign it as, MisterWoodhouse, and then create a one-off job title at Vault Tech for whatever the memo was about. Like there was a thing about system requirements. And so I wrote MisterWoodhouse, Director, Computer Engineering, Vault Tech. And then there was another one where Imgur was having those issues with some malware and 4chan and whatnot. And so we blocked Imgur temporarily. And so I, MisterWoodhouse, Executive Vice President, Security and Safety Bureau, Vault Tech. But some people took issue with how Horizon's Flair said that, saying that since, Bethesda sometimes styles themselves as being Vault Tech officials in their announcements, that was a little confusing. So, we just wanted to get some feedback from the users, make sure that, we're being on the up and up and transparent about, who we are and whether or not we're related, we have any relation to Bethesda officially, unofficially, whatnot.
Well, very good. Great courage under fire there.
Yeah, definitely.
I was hoping I would stump you, but I might have to make it a little harder next time.
Yeah, you're going to have to dig.
I'm going to have to dig deep. I didn't even research, but next time I'll do my work. I'll get you.
I'll
get you next time, Woodhouse.
Know you're gonna be on the show again, man. So you better watch out, I guess, for the next episode.
Yeah, I might have to go and like read through my comments, see if there's anything that doesn't strike me as like, what did I say there?
It's going to be a little bit like, preparing for a political campaign. I just want you to know.
Oh, that sounds great then.
All right. We could make a whole subreddit about that.
Well, we knew it would be, man, but this has, of course, been a blast, dude.
Yeah.
The Derp fam actually has, they've been waiting on you to come back. We've had a couple several excited tweets to have you back on the show, dude. So we hope it's definitely sooner rather than later for this next go-around, dude.
Yeah, I think this time around we'll have to maybe not trust the Twitter people to drive towards goals, and we'll just surprise people and be like, guess what? It's happening.
Guess what?
He's back. Direct message you on Twitter and just say, dude, it's time. You want to come back on?
Assemble the news team.
News team assemble. So, Mr. Woodhouse, as a listener of our show, who would you like to see come on our show?
Here, I got a question. I'll narrow it down even more. If we were to have someone from Bungie, who would you recommend come on our show with the layout that we have? What do you think?
That's definitely a good one. Well,
I think originally we were talking about leaning towards the live team, but now we're not 100% sure.
Well, since I just did the lip smack, I think we're going to go with Luke Smith.
All right.
There you go.
There's our goal. You got to help us get there.
Although, somebody from the live team, that'd be a really interesting interview, getting to understand what it is that they're doing, how their content process goes, and, how Eververse impacts that. That'd be some good answers from that interview.
Well, Mr. Woodhouse and Derp fam, please help Cyborg and I make this happen.
Yeah.
Right? Let's make it happen.
We can do it. Teamwork makes the dream work, people.
What we're not going to say is once we get to 1,300 followers. No. No.
We're not doing that.
Let's just make it happen.
Let's just make it happen.
Flobbity jillion followers.
1 million followers. Well,
1 million followers and you can get President Obama.
There we go, guys. 18,000 likes on Facebook, and Obama said that he will heal this man's cancer. Well, Mr. Woodhouse, thanks again for coming on. Always appreciate the cool behind-the-scenes looks at what you guys have going on over there.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
It, dude. Yeah.
I'll be certain to spam links from multiple accounts to this episode so you can have some fun censoring me for a day or two.
I'll just set the bots on it preemptively.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Bot power. Can't wait.
Bot power is so good.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, man. This is great stuff. The community loves to hear from you and your angle on it from the subreddit for sure.
All right.
So.
Before we go, where can people find you?
They can find me on our Destiny the Game, our gaming, our Fallout, and, of course, our Play Arc and Fluffy Dogs. And they can find me on Twitter at Mista, MistaAH.
Yeah.
There you go.
Woodhouse, since there is a completely inactive Twitter user who has Mr. Woodhouse.
Yep.
So you have to go for my native Bostonian accent with the Mr. Woodhouse.
Mr. Woodhouse.
You can find me there on Twitter, man, if you can decipher how I just spelt that. I'm sure you can find it on the image for this episode as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find me banning people on Reddit, censoring the masses and enforcing my doctrine of everyone has to be salty all the time, just how I roll.
I feel you on the Twitter name issue, man. There's somebody that has Arrow Knight with a 0 that's, last I checked, completely inactive. Therefore, I am the Arrow Knight with a 0.
Yep.
To make things even easier for people, though, you can just go to MisterWoodhouse.com.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Check that out.
Nice.
I didn't even know you had
Official.
a website.
Yeah, and it's all kinds of sneaky.
Oh, I'm going there right now. I can't wait. All right. Thank you, Mr. Woodhouse. We're signing off for this interview. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right, man. Fun interview with Mr. Woodhouse as always, guys.
As always, man.
You know, when you want to see him back, do something amazing, and you have to somehow summon him.
Maybe we'll have we haven't disclosed it yet, but maybe there'll be some sort of Twitter follower threshold before he's back next time, because that just kind of happened on its own, right?
Or just look in the mirror and say his name 3 times in the dark.
Oh,
I hear
that's
that.
probably easier,
Yeah,
right?
I hear you can summon him in your house if you do that.
That's good. Well, hopefully one day he'll give us clearance on releasing those other stories. That,
we'll get there.
He didn't know we were recording, right?
That's correct, but maybe we'll slip them out. All right, man. You ready for some hashtag DerpFam feels?
I am, man.
All right,
I'm excited
brother.
about this, dude.
All right, we've got an email from our good friend Assassin's Cross X. He says, "Greetings, Arrow and Cyborg." And by the way, he is a day one listener. I would just like to share a short story with the podcast about a recent hard mode raid. So yesterday, or the other day, depending on when you read this is definitely the other day, guys. Joe Havoc was looking to fill a spot for hard mode King's Fall. I jumped on the opportunity to get some more infusion fuel. Oh yeah. After he introduced me to his friends as cool guy from this group me that's a part of a podcast I listen to, he explained to the group that his stepson had never finished the entire raid on hard mode. Now, I've always been a big fan of being a Sherpa, so we got through the raid without a hitch up until Oryx. Now, we all know how troublesome hard mode Oryx could be. His stepson got a 300 ghost, which got him all sorts of excited. Helping other players get loot is like a drug. So we grind away at Oryx for about an hour and a half. Guys are getting tired. Some have to go soon. Even I was waiting for my wife to show up at any minute and evict me from Destiny. Nobody said it out loud, but we knew this was the last attempt. We get through our first set of 8 bombs, and his stepson is so excited to be finally doing it. Joe Havoc is trying to contain his excitement. Second set of 8 bombs is out, and this kid is losing it. I love it. We detonate it, and Oryx goes down. He is so excited, he was like, "Where's my loot?" We all laughed and explained we have to shoot his chest off one last time. After all is said and done, everyone nabs themselves some sweet loot, and Joe Havoc's stepson is now 312. And he got the Helm of Saint 14 at 310. An item he had said he needed earlier in the night. This is why I love the community, so I want to give a shout out to Joe Havoc, his stepson, and his friends for that amazing raid. Being just 1/6 a part of an event that made even one person so happy is why I continue to play Destiny. I also nagged me my Defiance at 320 with Hot Swap, so it wasn't altruism. See you in orbit, Assassin's Cross.
Now that is a great story, man.
That was a
That's
great
awesome.
story, Assassin. Thank you for sharing that with us.
We always try to promote sending us your stories and shout outs, because we want to hear that kind of story, man. We have the community and us has no idea that's going on, you know? Share that stuff with us, guys.
That's
that is
really
an
cool.
awesome story. Yeah,
really cool.
Good.
And thank you for helping those guys make that happen, Assassin. That was very altruistic.
Yes, it was. We also got another email from David. You may know him as Vincent Smalls. He says, "Hey Arrow, hey Cyborg. I just wanted to give an awesome shout out to a few derpers and a few non-derpers. Last year I was rocking Destiny on the 360 in a small group. Times were great, but slowly my fire team dwindled to just me as everyone made the leap to Xbox One and subsequently and disappointingly gave up on this awesome game. Fools." When your podcast began, I was there from episode 1, then the clan chat, then the group me. I got hooked. Chatting with those guys early on and watching this family grow has been quite something. I felt a real sense of companionship. The only issue, I was still on 360, so I couldn't actually game with these guys yet. They urged me on and promised to help out with the new raid if I got the upgrade. Well, at Christmas, my girlfriend surprised me with an Xbox One and a new copy of Destiny, even though she hates gaming. It took a while as my time is limited and I'm based in the UK, but the King's Fall promise came to fruition as TX Andyman, Fugly, and Duke Aldo walked me through the raid for the first time along with Andy's son Danny, which is Madcap Badge, and his friend Caston M. They were great guides, and I would rock any bit of Destiny with any of these guys any day. Shout out also to Fairplay and even Nerf Herder Han, who popped in right there at the end. The community has been amazing, and I can't wait to shoot some aliens in the face with more of you sometime. Keep up the great podcast, fellas. Vincent Smalls.
Very cool.
Good stuff, man.
I think
Thank
I remember
you guys for all
seeing him mention when he got that Xbox One at Christmas. I think I remember that post, and I was like, that's awesome.
Yep.
So I'm glad you finally knocked out that raid.
Derp fam, man, I tell you, right?
They're the bomb.
Good stuff.
We got an email from our friend David. He said, "Hey guys and Derp fam, as you all know, I'm no PvP player and was disappointed with Crimson Doubles coming up and no PvE content. But thought since it's now 4 days after the drop, I'd jump in and try for the shaders and emblem in which I got so. Anyways, I dropped a post on the PS4 Derp Fam Discord page and got a hit up from BDC612, and we went and had some fun. It wasn't as bad as I thought. Some matches we get our arse kicked, and some match we kicked arse, but was fun in the end." So good job, David, on getting out of your comfort zone, man, and jumping into doubles. I'm glad you ended up having a good time with another community member.
Definitely do.
Yeah.
We got another email from Des Raven. He said, "Friendly neighborhood Raven here. Des Raven to many of the Derp fam. I have to give a shout out. I don't normally do this, but hey, first time for everything, right? I came in so late to the group chat that my normal welcome was delayed by a good 8 hours, I think. Except one dude. When I got busy, this dude kept bringing me up in the chat, wondering if I'd be able to connect just yet. He kept me engaged. Everyone I've met had been through him. He made me invested, supporting, even downright encouraging my ideas. In fact, spurring me on to do more. Ending up pulling me into a whole new world of reviews, humbling me as my quality was praised by the fam. I don't know how deep I'd be in the Derp fam if not for this very awesome Holden Court. He turned what was going to be an LFG substitute into a second home for when I game filled with amazing and hilarious family. Good fortune and well wishes, my dude." That's good, man.
Very cool, man. Thanks
I like how
for sharing that.
I like how he just built it up, man.
Yeah.
All the way to the end, and then we get Holden Court.
That's
Who
right.
else, right?
Great community member
man.
there.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, you got any other shout outs this week?
No, man. I don't. Well, shout out to my trials team. I gave some shout outs in the How Was Your Reset, but I'm really enjoying running trials with you, man. It's fun.
It has been fun to do that together. Shout out to Jordan for getting in there with us and pulling us out of the slums sometimes of some of those rounds.
Quite the sniper he is, right?
He's great, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Good stuff, dude.
Well, great, man. Well, this was a fun show this week.
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe Mr. Woodhouse returns even sooner than the last time, right?
I'm sure he would if we asked.
We'll see.
All right. Well, guys,
where can they find you, dude?
Yeah, you can find me at Cyborg Sasquatch on Twitter. Where can they find you?
You can find me at The Arrow Knights on Twitter, and YouTube and Twitch is Arrow Knights, all with a 0.
Very awesome. Be sure to jump in. Arrow Knight streams at least on the weekends running trials. We always have some of the Derp fam in there watching and cutting up and having a good time. So great place to just come and hang out on a weekend night if you're not out there playing yourself or just want to see what's going down.
For sure, man. Yeah. It is. We usually end up having at least probably between 20 to 30 Derp family members. So it's fun, man. I try to do it on Friday or Saturday every week. It doesn't always happen, but
it's a lot of fun. But guys, if you want to find us, we're always at Destiny Reset on Twitter. You can find us on the World Wide Web at DestinyResetPodcast.com. Go to that site. You can find links to all things Destiny Reset, whether it's our Bungie.net group. You can catch a YouTube link to the most recent episode. You can find our Twitter, you name it. And then
everything.
Always you can email us at DestinyResetPodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, and guys, don't forget, we appreciate it. We've had a couple, probably in the last episode or two, but any of you that enjoy the show or have some constructive feedback, don't hesitate to leave us some iTunes reviews.
Yeah, thank you
really
always for those.
Helps push the show out there a little bit and then just get us some more Derp Fam members, so that's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So, anyways, guys, as usual, until next week, have fun playing Destiny and take care, Guardians.
Bad address. That tower is empty, isn't it?
That was nice, dude.
Thanks for the laugh.
Yeah,